Well folks, it seems like the only thing rising faster than inflation these days is my blood pressure. Unemployment, high. Measles, back, like a bad sequel nobody asked for. It's enough to make you want to crawl into a hole and eat your weight in discount ramen noodles. Speaking of things that are back, remember measles? That highly contagious, entirely preventable disease we thought we'd left behind in the 20th century? Yeah, it's back. Apparently, some folks decided that vaccines were just too mainstream for their liking. Now we're all playing a game of spot the red rash that nobody asked for. But hey, at least the jokes are still free. Well, mostly free. You might have to pay an arm and a leg for internet access with these inflation rates, but once you're online, the sweet, sweet nectar of internet humor is yours for the taking. That's something, right? Look, times are tough, we get it. But sometimes, the best way to deal with the dumpster fire that is reality is to laugh at it. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to take a wild ride through the funhouse mirror that is current events. First up, let's play a little game called Where in the World is Joe Biden? Has anyone seen our esteemed leader lately? Rumor has it he's been spotted at a senior water aerobics class, but those reports are unconfirmed. Maybe he's just trying to stay afloat, given the current state of, well, everything. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is out here doing whatever Elon Musk does. Launching rockets, buying Twitter, digging tunnels, you name it. He's like that kid in school who always had a million side hustles going on, except his side hustles involve billions of dollars and the potential to, colonize Mars. And speaking of things that are out of this world, Donald Trump is now selling a Jesus-themed necklace for the low, low price of $999.99. Because nothing says humble servant of the Lord like a diamond-encrusted crucifix that costs more than your rent. Next up, I'm waiting for the Trump-branded communion wafers. Gluten-free, of course, for that extra touch of holy hypocrisy. Honestly, with everything going on, you'd think we'd be due for a break from the absurd. But no, the universe seems to have a twisted sense of humor and we're all just along for the ride. Remember that whole thing about Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs? The ones that were supposed to shed light on his connections to some very powerful people? Yeah, about that. It seems those logs took a detour to Fantasy Island and won't be arriving anytime soon. Instead, we got a bunch of binders filled with information we already had. Thanks, but no thanks. It's almost as if someone doesn't want us to know who was hanging out on Epstein's private jet. And by someone, I mean, well, you can fill in the blank, it's like a game of Clue, but instead of Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick, it's redacted in redacted with a redacted. This whole saga is a masterclass in government obfuscation. They're dangling the promise of transparency in front of us, but then snatching it away like a magician with a disappearing act. The only thing missing is a puff of smoke and a ta-da. Except there's nothing magical about it, just frustrating and frankly a little bit insulting. And finally, let's talk about the Oscars, because why not? This year's nominees are about as exciting as a week-old loaf of bread. We've got a film about a liquid that makes women attractive, because that's what we need, more objectification, a Holocaust-themed drama, always a cheery subject, and a story about a sex worker and a drug-addicted oligarch's son, sounds like a Tuesday night in some circles. Where are the fun, escapist movies? The blockbusters that make you want to cheer, cry, and throw popcorn at the screen? Apparently those are all staying home this year, probably too embarrassed to be seen with the rest of the nominees. Look, I appreciate a good indie film as much as the next person, but come on Oscars, throw us a bone here, give us something to get excited about, something to distract us from the fact that the world is slowly melting down around us. But hey, maybe this is all just part of some grand plan. Maybe the Oscars are trying to send us a message. Look, things are bleak. Just accept it and watch this 3-hour movie about the existential angst of a retired accountant. Or maybe they just made some bad choices. Either way, I'll be here, popcorn in hand, hoping for the best but expecting the, well, you know the rest.